Hey guys, welcome to FunNGun. Got a pretty cool one here for you today. I'm going to go ahead and start off by showing you that this particular gun has the little orange disc inserted into the cylinder so it can't be loaded. So it is safe, and every other gun you're going to see in this video also has that disc installed, so just go ahead and cover that up front. But what we have here is the new Heritage Tactical Rancher, and what makes it the tactical model, you get this pretty cool smoked black wood stock. You're going to get a piece of Picatinny rail mounted to the top of the frame there to mount yourself a red dot or possibly a small scope. And you're also going to get a threaded barrel. And I will say, I haven't took this particular thread protector off yet, but if it's anything like my tactical cowboy here, that is pretty hard to get off. I end up having to wrap it in a towel and clamp onto it with some pliers to get it to break loose. Another little cool detail right here, while we got it over here, is you can look at the muzzle brake here, the thread protectors, and you can see it's actually fluted to match the cylinder. Thought that was a pretty neat little detail, but one of the main reasons I ended up picking this gun up, like I mentioned a second ago, is I already have the tactical cowboy here, and I did replace the thread protector on it with a little bird cage I picked up off eBay. It is a factory Ruger 1022 bird cage. I'm trying to find another one to go on this gun as well as a thread protector. That'll be a little bit easier to get a hold of to take on and off as well for future plans for these guns, as I'll get into later on. But that's one of the main reasons I went ahead and picked up the Tactical Rancher here. Figured it'd be pretty cool to have the full set here, but go ahead and say that, yeah, I know it's kind of funny that the red dot on this gun actually costs more than the gun. The reason it's got a Hollison 507C on it currently is because I actually, if you watch my previous video of me shooting RFS with my Chet Whistle CWA 2211, I actually put a 507 competition on it, and I had this one laying around as an extra, so I went ahead and slapped it on here for the time being. I will probably end up later on picking up another one of these True Glow red dots. Seems to be a pretty good little red dot. They're not too expensive. That way I can put this on something in the future when I pick up a gun that I want to use it on. But for now, it's going to go ahead and hang out on our Tactical Rancher here because it does work quite well on this particular gun. It actually fits the look of it pretty well, how small it is and compact. So let's go ahead and get into a few details with the Heritage in general here. Is one of the first things I recommend you do when you get any Heritage is you're going to go ahead and back out your screws. I usually don't take them all the way out on these two screws right here. Dab a little blue Loctite in there, let it run down into the threads, and then snug them back down. This screw in particular right here on your ejector is one you definitely want to go ahead and get some on, because if you don't, that screw is prone, in my experience, to backing out, and you don't want to lose that on the range. And also, I will say, you got to be real careful tightening this screw up. You don't want to get too carried away with it, because I've actually snapped that screw off because it is a pretty soft screw, and it's a whole mess you don't want to have to get into, drilling out the tip of the screw and all that and whatnot. So just be careful with that screw. Another pretty cool thing about the Heritage guns is you can actually pick up a 22 Magnum cylinder for these guns pretty easily. They're not too bad on price. I think they're about 35 bucks. You can get them in a variety of different color finishes and engraving and whatnot. I just got a plain one here that comes with one of my other guns, and this is the one I actually just chose to keep so I can use it between all my guns. So you only really need one of them. Don't use a whole lot, just kind of cool to have the option of being able to do so. And that being said, you can also pick up a ton of different cylinders in general, as I'll show you here in my regular Rancher here. I got the stainless steel cylinder. I went ahead and polished the trigger. Went ahead and left this, obviously the hammer with silver, so it kind of matches. And I may actually go back and polish the ends of the screws just to kind of give it that little bit of a unique look. And as you can see, this one currently does not have the stock on it. That's something I'll get into why that is towards the end of the video with what my plans are for this particular gun. So one thing I will get into with the Rancher here is it's the same thing with your regular Rancher here. Is, as you can see, you have these little finger hooks on them, and the little finger hook is there because you can't put your hand in front of the cylinder gap right here. There's actually a little picture that comes with your a little piece of paperwork that comes with the gun. I'll go ahead and insert that over the screen right now so you can pause and check that out. And it tells you the do's and don'ts of shooting this particular gun. But Currently, you cannot shoot your gun with your hand in front of it. There's something else I'll go over towards the end of the video that I'm going to do to this where it allowed me to put my hand anywhere towards the front there without getting blasted with that. But figured I'd go ahead and cover that up front because that is one of the negatives to this gun, is the fact that you do have a cylinder gap and your face is right here. It's not that far away. You do get debris and the concussion back into your face every time you shoot this. So this is definitely something you're going to want to wear safety glasses with. And I would say that with either one of these, it's not really something I would recommend for kids and or new shooters, specifically for the fact that it's not very pleasant to get blasted in the face with a concussion and that unburnt powder and whatnot. So somebody that's not used to shooting guns, this could turn them away from wanting to shoot other guns, and kids for that matter as well. So we're gonna go ahead and cover that in this particular review as well. That's something I noticed right off the bat when I got the regular one here. I've had this one for quite a while, and that's one of the parts about it. I don't like shooting it, but it is fun because of the unique way you get to shoot these guns. You gotta kind of cup the gun like you're shooting a handgun, and you use the little hook to pull back on it with your offhand trigger finger. So it's a pretty unique setup. I'm going to go ahead and insert a clip of me shooting this at 25 yards just to show you how you do have to hold this gun, and we'll come back after that. As you can see there, that is a pretty unique way you have to shoot these little guns, and it's not too big of a deal to get used to, especially seeing as the front of the gun's not too heavy. It balances out quite nice, seeing it's kind of like having a bullpup, all your weight's towards the back. So not too big of a deal, just something weird you got to get used to, and that's kind of a little bit of the charm of having a rancher in the first place, is it's weird and just unique, I guess, especially when you get the tactical version of it, because the red dot definitely makes it a lot more fun to shoot than just your regular old iron sights. I will say that. That's pretty cool as well. But as you can see there in that clip, I mean, the gun is pretty accurate. I mean, that's not really pushing it for any 22 rifle there, shooting those targets at 25 yards there. They're not super small targets, especially with the red dot. But I'm going to go ahead and insert a clip here in a second and show me shooting this at 15 yards. I backed it back off a little bit in range, but I made the targets quite a bit smaller, and I've actually had quite a bit of fun shooting my challenge target, I call it, which is a little post. It's a 1/2 inch wide target, and it's the smallest target I keep on my range there. And I was actually able to hit it with this particular gun pretty often. As you'll see here in this clip, it took me 2 shots to hit it, but I did hit it on the second try, and it's quite a bit of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that clip right here. So as you can see, little gun is pretty accurate. It's quite an awesome little plinker, especially up close. You know, I wouldn't say I would be shooting this at 150 yards, 100 yards, you know, small stuff like that. But for what I was doing right there, I like to have that set of targets out there, especially when I'm playing with 22s. It makes it a lot of fun. But a few more things about this particular gun here is I will say you do get a sling in the box for this particular gun. It's nothing fancy. It's just got your basic little quick detach mounts on it. You got a point here, and you got a point in the end of your stock. So you do get a sling. You get all your basic paperwork you get with just about any gun. You get your lawyer lock, as I like to call it, because, you know, every gun comes with it, and that's basically the reason they do, in my opinion. I guess it can be useful if you have kids, but I keep them in a safe, so I'm not really worried about that, but it does come with that. And I guess we'll talk about the trigger here a little bit. Like I said, gun does have the little orange safety tab in there, safety zone, so it ain't gonna slap the back of the cylinder or nothing, do anything funny. They don't have just awesome triggers on them. I'd say the trigger's probably about 4.5, 5 pounds. Not super heavy because it's a single action, it's not too bad. I will say that since I did polish this trigger, when I had it apart, I polished the finish off the top side of it as well. and I've actually done that on quite a few of my Heritages when I take them apart to clean them and whatnot. I believe this one has it done as well. Yep, the top side of the trigger there that you can't see up inside of it was polished and just kind of gives you a little bit more of a smooth release. You don't want to take any material off of it per se, just kind of smooth it out a little bit. Another thing about the Heritage, as you can see here, I've only shot this gun a few times and I've already got little places on the finish that are starting to wear off. They do not come with the best finish, I will say. They're nothing like you say, like a Ruger Single 6 or something, but they're not in that price range either. Excuse me. As you can see right here, I've got a scratch right here already forming and one there as well, just from me easing those 2 screws out to put Loctite on them. So that is something with most of the Heritage guns. The finish is a little bit weak. Not a big deal, I guess. Kind of gives a little bit of character over time, I guess, but something I figured I'd go ahead and mention while I'm talking about the different things about the Heritage. I will say, I've got a couple of them that has like the more of a case hardened, I guess, esque look to them. They seem to be a little bit more durable, but nevertheless, for the price, it's not too big of a deal, I guess. This gun MSRP's at $355.99. And I actually ended up picking this particular one up for a little under 300 bucks. So not too big or too bad on the price for what you're getting here. Definitely a cool little gun. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get into my plans for this particular gun. What I have planned, what I want to do to it and deck it out over time. I'm not sure exactly how long it's gonna take me to get this done, because what I'm wanting to do involves you having to drill a hole into the top of the gun right here for this to work. So the first thing we're going to be doing is, like I mentioned earlier, while this particular gun doesn't have the stock on it, is because I couldn't help myself. While I was waiting on this gun to come in, I actually took the stock off that particular gun because it just had a plain wood stock on it. Went ahead and customized it, so when it come in, I would be able to put this stock on the other gun. I think it looks really good with that silver finish I have with it. Kind of gives that a little bit of a cool look, and this stock that's going to be going on this gun is going to have more of a tactical look than just the plain black here. Then we're going to get here to the middle. What I was telling you earlier about being able to put my hand in front of it, and the reason you got to drill the hole is this particular gun and the Tactical Cowboy as well are both going to end up getting revolver seals added to them. So these will be suppressor hosts for me. That's another cool part about them being factory threaded. So what the revolver seal is the reason you got to drill the hole there. You take the back screw out and you're going to put a clamshell over your cylinder, and it's got a gasket around it that seals your gases in so you can shoot it suppressed. Figured that would be a cool thing to have in my suppressor host arsenal, is 2 suppressed revolvers, a revolver handgun and a revolver rifle. Be something you don't see every day and quite a bit different than anything else I have that you can shoot suppressed. Will it be a pain to load? I feel like it will be, because I'm going to have to have a wrench on the range all the time to take the side off just to put 6 rounds back in, but that'll be part of the coolness of it, I guess. So, and like I was talking about before, is putting your hand in front of it. I have been looking at some different options about a hand guard on the front of it just to kind of complete the look of it, I guess, if I go tactical on everything. So there is something I've been looking at for that as well. If you're interested in what I've got coming here for this Tactical Cowboy, go ahead and hit the subscribe button there to make sure you don't miss out on my next couple of videos I'm going to be doing with this over some time here. And that's all I had for you today. Okay, if you made it this far, I just want to say thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you're looking for more FunNGun right now, you can click one of the 2 recommended videos there. If you're looking for more FunNGun later, you can go ahead and click that there subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it. And if you're finding me from Facebook, go ahead and click that open app button at the top to make all that a lot easier. And I'll see you next time.